Hello there, Alan Biggs with a very warm welcome to this week's Ref Show. Our top experts are on duty, and just when you think there'll be a lull in controversy, we get another 1, 2, 3, 4 big incidents. This week's headlines: violent play goes undetected on 2 or 3 occasions in the Premier League, and inevitably we're talking about this. How do you explain the wrong man getting sent off? That's a major talking point. I'm joined by Mark Halsey and by Keith Hackett. I'm very grateful to have the two of you here because you've been speaking to the world and his wife in the last week or two. I didn't think we'd get a word in edgeways from either of you. So where to start? Aside from what happened at Old Trafford, graphically the most sickening incident was in Stoke 1-0. This was Neil Swarbrick and Figueroa's challenge on Stoke's Stephen Island. We've seen pictures on that, but it went just totally undetected, Mark.
Yeah,
at the time.
I mean, I just can't understand. We all make mistakes. We all miss incidents. But I mean, it's the same with last week. When you've got the referee, I think that was even easier than Martin Atkinson's last week. And when you're looking at an incident like you are, it's all about recognition. It's all about recognition of careless, reckless and excessive force. And that meets the latter, the criteria of excessive force. And I mean, Neil's looking straight at it. I don't know how he's missed it. For me, it's a definite red card. Right. It's a definite red card for serious foul play. But once again, another player will get off, escape censure for a nasty challenge. And we've really got to, you know, be aware of what's going on now with these challenges.
Neil Swarbrick had been doing well, hadn't he? You know, you said yourself that he's been promising this season. So that's a major blow for him.
Yeah, it is. I mean, he has stepped up to the plate in recent weeks, and it's great, and we have been praising him. But at the same time, you know, he's really got to go. He'll be disappointed that he's not spotted that, because, you know, as a referee, you don't want to miss those sort of challenges.
It was one of two, Keith, wasn't it? I mean, it was actually the second instance, because cameras have shown that earlier in the game, Ireland himself was guilty.
Absolutely, but you know, I mean, my fear and my worry here is that we seem to, you know, we can talk about trends. These type of challenges are creeping back, and this is because of the general poor standard of decision making that's going on, that suddenly says the player thinks, I can get away with that. Yeah. Others have got away with it. And again, I make the point, what is happening at the highest level of the game in England cascades down to the local park and makes it more difficult for the grassroots referee. We always have to recognise that as senior referees.
I've got to say, I think that one with Stephen Ireland was involved in on Mayer, I think that was more difficult to detect and what the
you could argue
on Ireland.
You could also argue that with the offside, because there literally were millimetres involved. It looked like Peter Crouch heading the winning goal.
Yeah. I think as an assistant referee and a team of match officials, I think, you know, we want to see goals, and I think that's there. I think that's not a problem.
Not a major error.
That's not a major. That's not an issue.
I think the linesman, the assistants, give him the benefit of doubt.
Yeah, you've got to give him
benefit of doubt. But you know, Alan, we'll go back to the call that I've made on numerous occasions. We have at You Are the Ref. The video ref is where these sort of things would be captured and would be dealt with on the day.
Yes.
We've got some more instances to talk about.
We have indeed,
where that would come in and help.
Well, staying at the bottom of the table, before we go inevitably to Old Trafford and other places, the Burnley 0, Swansea 1. Jonathan Moss was in charge of this at Turf Moor. Now, early on in that, was a penalty denied Swansea, do you believe, Mark? Routledge seemed to be clattered by the keeper coming out, Heaton. What do you think? Yeah,
you could argue both ways, couldn't you? It's all about, you know, selling that decision. And I don't think Routledge had too much complaints. The player reactions, there was nothing, was it, really, Keith?
Later on, Sam Vokes for Burnley stayed on his feet. It's amazing when a player gets criticised for staying on his feet, as I think...
it's a penalty.
Ruud Gullit did. So
it's a penalty.
It's a clear holding offence. You know, do you have to go down to win a penalty? I mean, if he goes down, the referee may have cautioned him for simulation, because we're seeing this now,
but the burden is on referees to, if they penalise those kind of things, players will stay on their feet, feeling confident.
Well, this is exactly the point that Sam Allardyce was making, wasn't it?
Yes,
you know, he made the point, I think my players are too honest, they're not going down. He said that before, even when I was the general manager, he's made that sort of comment. And you know,
That's what you want to see.
I think if John Moss gives that, I think John Moss enhances his reputation as a referee by giving that as a penalty. Do you think?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah.
But remarkably, in that game, there was not a single yellow card.
I know. So, well done, John Moss, for keeping the card count down. Obviously, his recognition of offences was good.
Okay, just apart from those things that we highlighted, one thing we highlighted. Manchester United 2, Sunderland 0. Wayne Rooney's double. Roger East in charge. Strangely enough, Martin Atkinson, from the heat to the fire, you know, finds himself as fourth official there. But everybody talking about the build-up to the Rooney penalty for the first goal. Wes Brown was sent off, but the foul was clearly by John O'Shea. How on earth did that happen, Keith?
I'll tell you, the referees guessed. You don't guess at the top level. You don't guess in any form of refereeing, officiating. And he's guessed the decision. He's seen something, or up here, mentally, he thinks this is going to happen. I mean, it really is dead straightforward. What's
your explanation, Mark, as to what was going through Roger's mind there?
I mean, any young referees that are watching this show, it's so important. When there's not a lot going on in the game, it's very important to keep your concentration levels high, and you must never take your foot off the gas. I think Roger's lost his concentration. He's lost his focus. You can clearly see he's in a wonderful position, and it's clear to everybody it's John O'Shea, not Wes Brown, because Wes Brown has not committed the 2 fouls. So for any young referee, you must keep your concentration levels high.
Keith's making the wider point that in fact it shouldn't have been a red card anyway.
No, I mean, at the end of the day, I think that this covering defenders, it might well be. I mean, I'm really looking at the John O'Shea challenge when I say that, because you know, John O'Shea's made the foul. It is a penalty. Wes Brown's a covering defender, so you're not going to send him off. No. So I think that you know, I mean, I wish these guys would just relax a little, keep the concentration, and not guess.
Well, I know Mark's been keeping his ear very close to the ground on the possibility for the ball. Sunderland have appealed and what may happen. As we talk, and this is Monday lunchtime when we're recording this, how do you expect that to go, the appeal against the Wes Brown card?
Well, I mean, the PGML shot themselves in the foot with their statement on Saturday evening. So it's absolutely dumbfounding, really, Keith. Well, I mean, and for me, it shifts the blame off from John O'Shea, who's now out of the equation, and it's totally censored on Wes Brown. And we know Wes Brown is in the match report saying that he's denied the goal scoring opportunity. So I fully expect Sunderland to win their appeal. And it's been rescinded because Wes Brown has not committed an offence.
You know,
the statement shouldn't it just have faced up?
Should have said nothing.
Or I think on this occasion.
But we've all wanted PGMOL to come out, haven't we?
Alan, you know, I used to encourage referees to talk after the game, and then it was the game itself, the players, the clubs that were anti that, because making a statement, they said, is a double jeopardy a situation with the possibility of them appealing. And here, what you've got is you have an appeal process. So if in a situation a red card's been issued, PGMOL should have said nothing until the appeal process has seen its way through, the possibility of an appeal going through. They can make a statement afterwards.
Yeah.
But not only that, Alan, the referee, you know, he's travelling home from Manchester to Salisbury. Your match report, disciplinary report does not have to be until Sunday, 1 o'clock. Or sorry, the next. You know, you've got all of Sunday to put your report in, so he can go home, he can watch the DVD, and then they can come out and make a statement, come out and say, listen, I've made a mistake, I've got the wrong man, it's John O'Shea. And then it'll all be transferred over to John O'Shea. Sunderland appeal wrongful dismissal, that Wes Brown gets on to John O'Shea, and then no problem.
As it is, nobody's going to get suspended for this remarkable incident. Can we put some ticks instead of crosses against some performances? Lee Mason, Newcastle 1, Aston Villa 0.
Got through it okay?
Got through, no problems. And as a referee, you don't want any issues. That's what you want all your games to be like.
Andre Mariner, Arsenal 2, Everton 0. What do you think?
Looked to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, I still question his fitness. I don't think he's as fit as he used to be. I think he's obviously got probably a back problem. And I think that's reflecting in some of his performance.
Almost inevitably, Mark Clattenburg comes through with flying colours on the biggest game.
Let's just dwell on that because you know, it's not us being clever.
No.
This is Mark. It's down to him. I mean, he must work his socks off during the week to get the levels of fitness that he's achieving. I mean, his movement is spectacular in any refereeing shape, but it's movement with thought. You know, that ability to squeeze in, come out, not interfere with the players when they're passing the ball. And it's this positioning that we've talked about all season. He delivers the position, delivers the viewing angle, and a massively high level of accuracy.
But guys have been championing Mark all season as the best referee in the select group. It appears that the rest of the media now has got behind that.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at Mark and you look at Mike Dean, two outstanding referees, and I take my hat off to Mark because I've been in his situation. He's got, in my opinion, he's got the FA against him, he's got the PGML against him, and he's just delivered performances week in, week out. And it's all about accuracy of decision making. And you could quite clearly see the players. He had the utmost respect from the players because his accuracy of decision making, and it makes it easy because you're giving the correct decision. And the players stay away from you.
Do you think the powers that be will now take note and say, well, we were pushing Martin Atkinson towards Euro, but we're now going to select.
What about
push it not? I mean, look,
what about the games Mark's done? He'd be over.
I mean, Mark has done 17 games. Atkinson's done 22. Jonathan Moss 21.
Yeah, I think it's 18. I think you said in your blog
17,
against 22. Well, whatever, around that time.
He's done less than.
For me, he has to be nailed on to be our #1 referee to go to the Euros. Has to be.
Well, let's see what happens. He's certainly in a strong position now, far stronger than at any time this season.
I think questions will be asked if he doesn't go there.
Well, Mike Dean has been consistently good, as viewers to this show will know. There was just obviously one incident we have to talk about in Mike's game was West Ham Crystal Palace. It was the Jedinak elbow there on Sarko, undetected.
Yeah, I mean, I think
he ain't got a chance.
He's the wrong side. He's blind side, and I've got to say, I thought Sarko done ever so well. He just got straight back up and got on it as though nothing happened. And as I blogged the game, as you know, and I do believe that the FA will look at that and take retrospective action. All depends what Mike Dean says to the FA today about whether
you're saying he can't possibly have seen
that.
No,
he couldn't have possibly have seen that.
Right.
Delivering underpins the week before when chaos abound about performances. And he's stuck at Brentford versus Bournemouth.
He does, You've made that point on the site, youotheref.com. Anthony Taylor had a big showpiece at Wembley. I think you guys have been quite impressed with some of Anthony's performances this season.
Yes.
Chelsea, Spurs. Dare I say, some people think that Costa should have gone for a second yellow. What was your view?
No, I mean, listen, for me, it's about managing the event, managing the game, managing the players, and that's all you want in a big. I mean, you go out and referee a game of football, but also at the same thing, you're refereeing a showcase final, and I thought, hey, people are nitpicking at that. I thought he had a very good game.
Okay,
it was good.
And just to round up, a final one, Phil Dowd had to be substituted at half-time of his game. That was West Brom 1, Southampton 0. Graham Scott came on for the second half. 2 points here. You've been making a point about the fitness of older referees. Maybe that was exposed. But also, Graham Scott did well, I think, when he came.
He came on and he had a decision close by the penalty area. He was in a terrific position to judge. He looked relaxed. He didn't, all of a sudden you've got the surprise of having to come on.
Yeah.
He measured how he moved around the field of play. Again, there must be some referees around the place that are good enough to be put into that pool.
Well, I've got to say, Keith, I think now the time has come where we have a second tier, where we have the development group that they're looking at to go on to the Premier League. I think they should be refereeing championship football week in, week out to prepare them for that next step.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
That's
okay.
a good point.
There was a complaint there from Ronald Koeman that he felt not enough action was taken on time wasting in that game by West Brom, who had the lead.
Was that first half or second half? Because it might have been Phil Dowd wanting a breather.
Well, I think there was a point. There's a point to this management of time in a game, and it does mean that referees have to start that process very early on, not in the last 5 minutes.
Okay, it's
Take
a
it
good
away
point. It's a
from the
great
referee.
point, isn't it? Okay, guys, thanks very much, Keith. Thanks, Mark. We both of us had the pleasure of the company of Guillaume Balaguet in London at our special refs question time. That was in the heart of London's West End, and the West Ham United manager Sam Allardyce. The highlights from that very lively evening with some great points made by all the panel will be on youaretheref.com shortly. Don't forget, you can contact us at the website with any comments or any questions. And thank you as ever for your company. We look forward to that again next week. Bye-bye now.